All right, what is going on, everybody? My name is Menace the Menace, and you are listening to the Ruckus and the Menace podcast. And by the way, I'm gonna kick it off with Ruckus. Hey, how we doing?
I'm hanging in there, just busy with work and also gaming on the side when I get back home. Especially doing a lot of MLB The Show gaming and watching movies and TV shows to pass the time. Very upset that I can't watch my hometown team because Bally Sports does not carry itself on YouTube TV, but it only carries through DirecTV slash AT&T, and I'm not paying $90 a month just to watch one thing.
Yeah, because all those networks they're mostly only there for the games anyway.
Yeah, and it's a shame because like the NFL has it made. It's like NBC, Fox, and CBS. So those are main networks that everybody has, pretty much.
Yeah, and MLB, of course. I mean, granted that they have their own network, but that's even within a cable window. Plus, then you're paying. Plus, then if you're wanting to watch anything out of market, you got to fork over some coin on that too.
Yeah, I also took some time for Easter and got some movies that I have now been enjoying and trying to watch. Got through. I haven't fully finished the new Ghostbusters movie, but so far so good. It's not the worst movie ever, and it's not the best movie ever, but it's like that in between. So how have
Yeah,
you been, Spennis?
it's been good. Majorly for me, it's like I end capped my Easter weekend by going and seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which just is pretty much about as good as the original, the first movie in the set. And major teaser, not going to give you any spoilers unless you know your Sonic the Hedgehog and have seen what's in the credits, that they're going to go into where the early 2000s ended up with in bringing characters from Sonic Adventure to battle. I will be actually at a baseball game in Lynchburg here in a few days. I will be seeing the Salem Red Sox take on the Lynchburg Hillcats in Lynchburg. So some single A action. So I'll be seeing Red Sox first round pick Marcelo Meyer, as he is currently down in Salem right now. And the weather has been quite bizarre.
You and me
And
both, dude.
man, snow was over here on Monday. We actually had about a couple of inches, a little more than a standard coating by the time Monday evening finished out. And then basically with that, it ended up all going away the next day. But
Yeah.
but
I've had weirder weather like that before. Like in high school, I think it was near the end of my freshman year, we had snow. Uh,
yeah.
and I was just like, what the hell is going on, Kansas?
Yeah, you can have that weather back.
Nah, I'm good. I'd rather have nice sunny days, 70-degree weather.
uh, but if you want to talk about forking over a whole bunch of extra coin, how I was talking about MLB TV and all that, I just had to fork over about $500 to get a new car radio. Granted that all of the parts for it are being shipped to me, and I cannot get in to get it installed until May. But I at least had to fork over the coin to actually sustain and actually get everything so that I can get that fixed, because my car radio went out on Sunday.
That's no good.
Yeah, how am I going to listen to my stuff?
A friend of mine back in college had a Bluetooth speaker that he would just have in his like coaster side for drinks and whatnot, and he had it was a van, but he used a Bluetooth speaker and he would just listen to his tunes that way. And some
I
people are
mean,
weird and will like put their AirPods in while they're driving. It's like that doesn't sound safe.
yeah, yeah. The hard part about it is that I do have all of the stuff that goes along with it, as my radio also is the display for my backup camera. So I now have to do things the old-fashioned way
I,
and
hell, I
actually
don't.
looking going
I
backwards.
don't even like use my rear camera because I like doing it the old-fashioned way, like just looking at back and in general my muscle memory is just to do that because personally I don't really trust my camera because I don't know,
Oh, not
just weird
not all the
thoughts.
angles are shown, and there are actually blind spots.
Yeah,
There
I
there
just
are
don't trust it.
legitimate blind spots in those cameras, but mine is usually, for better or worse, pretty reliable. So that at least works out great. And
Yeah.
now that we've all of a sudden worked out a lot of our kind of off topic early ons, let's toss over to the weekly lineup. All right, Ruckus, what do you think we're gonna lead off with today?
Um, this or this weekend, or like early weekend, Jackie Robinson Day occurred on Friday. So yeah, pretty much the weekend. Where every player wore the universally retired 42 in Dodger blue for the 75th anniversary of the color barrier in baseball being broken. Personally, in past years they just did the 42 with the team that was
Yes.
playing's color. I think that's like a I saw that when I was looking at the highlights for different teams. I was like, wait, that's blue, is it? Like my eyes aren't deceiving me, right? And then I was just like, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a good touch. It brings more honor than there already was, probably, in my opinion, to the retired player in Jackie Robinson, and it shows the flair and the history of who he was and how we should remember him.
And I would honestly say without Jackie, we have no Hank. We have no Barry Bonds. We have no Griffey. We don't have a lot of these great baseball players that we've tend to know and love.
Yeah, which
So
is strange to think because like without Jackie or anybody else, the I feel like it would have been a different world. But yeah. Anyways, I'm happy for what they did to celebrate. They did a good job. Now let's go on to some more weekly lineup stuff here. Going with the NBA playoffs starting. Um, the Nets are tied with the Celtics 1-1, correct?
no, that is looking like no. That series is
Or
actually with
2-0.
Boston up 2-0. New
And
Orleans New Orleans just tied with Phoenix last night.
yeah, I saw that one. That was a runaway near the end for the Pelicans. Took it uh they took it straight to them, and Devin Booker being injured probably put some Phoenix fans in a bit of a panic because Booker
Uh,
is one of the better ones on the team
it
besides
looks
Chris
like
Paul and Aiton.
it's only going to be for the next 2 games, but it is a cause for concern.
I mean, don't they just need to like win like two more games for
It's
if you're
three.
the Pelicans?
It's a best of 7.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, that tells you my knowledge of NBA.
It used to be a best of 5 way back when,
This is my
but
MLB The Show uh thoughts because I've been playing. Because if I play like franchise mode in MLB, I'll be like, okay, ALDS is like best of 5, so you only have to win 3, and then it go gradually. But yeah, anywho,
it
NBA
used to be 5.
playoffs.
It used to be 5 in the first round while I was growing up.
Yeah.
So,
Um.
but you've got Chicago and Milwaukee playing right now with the Bucks leading the series right now, but they're only through one quarter of game 2.
Are they against
Um
the Grizzlies?
no, the Bucks are against the Bulls.
Oh yeah, that's correct. My bad. Yeah.
Memphis Memphis and Minnesota are tied at 1. Dallas and Utah are tied at 1 with Luka questionable for game 3. The Warriors are up 2-0. Miami's up 2-0. So there's a couple of interesting series. I think that the biggest headliner out of this round is probably the Boston Brooklyn series,
Oh yeah, because
especially.
that you have the talent there from Brooklyn. You have Kevin Durant. You have Kyrie Irving, and you. It seems like their whole like year that they've been together with Steve Nash, the presence in the as far as coach for Steve Nash, it just seems like Steve Nash is just there, like he's just kind of just a placeholder and not really doing anything. It seems as far as the media, in my opinion, shows for it.
Gee, why does that sound like some other place in familiar? Oh, that's right, L.A.
Yep, and now their coach was fired, and before Frank Vogel, it was Luke Walton, and I honestly, I didn't really know how good or bad Luke Walton was as a coach, but I feel like he was probably about on the same range as Vogel possibly, but that's just my opinion. There's probably other fans are probably chewing me out in the comment section, being like, "Yeah." But anywho, NBA is going on. The NHL enters its final week of regular season as teams attempt to make the playoff pushes. Ronald Acuna
Yep.
is tentatively set for a AAA assignment for Gwinnett as he prepares to come back from a torn ACL. Uh, NFL signings: Stephon Gilmore signs a 2-year deal with the Colts. AJ Green signs a 1-year deal to come back to the Cardinals, and Derek Carr signs a 4-year extension worth up to $121.5 million.
I think I think the Derek Carr extension was definitely out of those three. The Carr extension probably was the biggest and most impactful one, not just because it was a quarterback, but more because it was a move that it cements the Vegas Raiders' future with
Oh,
having
most
Derek Carr and
definitely.
Devontae Adams in that area.
Yeah, I still feel like Devontae's got some big holes to fill. As far as like, yes, he's like one of the better wide receivers out there, but like I personally think he's only good at catching, which is what he does. Obviously, he's a wide receiver, but I don't. He's not like Tyreek Hill when it comes to speed, in my opinion. But that's just me. Um,
Nor do they need to be.
Speaking of the NFL, Debo Samuel tweeted or contacted the 49ers today saying he wants out of San Francisco. Where does he wind up? There's some talks about potential talk or there's talks about different teams trying to trade up for him. There's I have no idea who really is after him, but my hometown Chiefs were talked about being one of the up and or one of the front runners to acquire Debo. But the question is, how many draft picks slash who are you going to add in that package to make San Francisco want to bite for that trade? Personally, I don't think we need Debo, but
It's gotta
it'd be a nice necessity. I mean, not nice necessity. It'd be like a nice luxury to have him because we already have Juju and Marquez and McCole. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. But you never know. There might be another team that wasn't mentioned that snags him for a player and like a few draft picks. You never know.
I think the biggest thing that's going to come out of this is teams with draft capital are going to look at this and see if it is an upgrade, a downgrade, or kind of puts them in an position. The hard part is that this wide receiver market has just gone bananas.
Oh yeah, because Devonte Adams started it, and then Christian Kirk was like the one that like brought the fire as far as how much a wide receiver should make or can make. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I should is probably a strong one.
Oh, Christian Kirk was the one that caused the wide receiver market to go bonkers because
Right.
because the price point on him was just so high that all of these other receivers that are expected to get major deals in the upcoming future have like the floor on it has just completely elevated itself. Forget the ceiling going high. The floor of the deals
Oh
now has
yeah.
just gone.
And the one thing I'm gonna end with on Debo is if we end up acquiring him, we're gonna have to pay him because it'd be kind of pointless if you just trade up for the dude and then waste your draft picks because you didn't want to pay Debo. But anyways, that's
I don't think
besides the
I
point.
don't I don't think Kansas goes for it just simply because the draft capital's not good enough.
Yeah, and we do have 12 draft picks for this year, but who knows what we're gonna actually do with them? I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of like trade buzz slash just trades happening during the draft, and I feel like it might be a bit hectic that day, but we will have to see. But in other news, recently this came out, I think today or yesterday, but Jay
Yeah,
Wright is leaving Villanova.
it was just today that that was announced, and it looks like Jay Wright is likely going to be retiring. No interest in going to the NBA. No interest in staying in Villanova. I think this is the retirement of Jay Wright.
And that him and Coach K are leaving the college basketball scene.
Pretty much after Final Four seasons. So that is pretty well worth its weight in pretty much worth its weight in the gold there for them. Like a regional championship, just coming one short of the natty. I it's good. It's really good that these coaches are leaving on fairly high notes. Granted, a loss, but still fairly high notes.
Oh yeah.
And and both of them ended up with national championships. So
All right. Hit us up with that sports history, Spennis.
okay, so two out of the three here are going to be baseball stadium openings. And more so with this, it is because all of these fall on today, April 20th. In 1912, baseball's oldest stadium and home of the Boston Red Sox, Fenway Park opened with a 7-6 win over the New York Highlanders in 11 innings. 4 years later, Weeghman Park, which, if I'm going to say this right now, if you kind of catching on to the context here, what do you think that park eventually became?
Good old Wrigley.
Wrigley Field. Yep. As the Chicago Cubs beat the Cincinnati Reds on their opening day of Wrigley Field 7-6. And also a notable thing, kind of talking into the NBA playoffs, I only did 3 this time around, simply because this was the night that Michael Jordan scored 63 points against the Boston Celtics in 1986. I mean, this is a playoff record. Wilt never got that high. Kobe never got that high as far as points. I actually want to double check the end result of that game as well. Yeah. Oh, and this was also 63 points in a loss to the Celtics in double overtime. So that definitely wraps up sports history. And now we can go to the high heat where we are going to talk about the NFL draft. And this is a big topic, especially because we're going to have no pod next week. So pretty much the NFL draft is going to be a big piece to hit.
Oh yeah, because there's a lot of cornerbacks, edge rushers, and wide receivers, and the wide receiver class hasn't been this deep since 2014.
Yeah, that 2014 class, of course, had Odell and notably and a few others. But the edge rushers are definitely more so in round one. Corners and safeties are going to be everywhere. But the hard part is that there are no quarterbacks in the top 20 in CBS's prospect rankings. Running backs and tight ends are minimal. The best tight end off the board is a second round pick. So we don't really have anything kind of too crazy to go along with. So really the big thing is that even though we don't really have a lot of quarterbacks, there are teams that are still going to be needing a quarterback. So where do we think some of these top 5 quarterbacks are going to land? Kenny
I have
Pickett,
I have a
Malik Willis.
feeling Pickett is probably going to be one of the last, possibly. That's my guess. These other lesser known guys are probably gonna be one of the first to go. That's what I
Oh,
think.
wow. So you're going to have Kenny Pickett going lower than the first round. And well behind Willis, Matt Corral, Howell, and Desmond Ritter.
Right, because I have a feeling because you have the Jets, the Panthers, the Texans, and many other teams that have a need for a quarterback, but at the end of the day, defense wins championships. And it seems like like we were saying earlier, the cornerbacks and edge rushers and all that, I think they're more of a priority as far as that. Because getting a quarterback in the draft, usually like their first year is not the best. So you either leave them on the back burner and have a veteran quarterback teach them the ways, kind of like how Pat Mahomes was led with Alex Smith. But who knows really what's going to happen? Like the mock drafts and everything that I've seen have mainly just been like, okay, well Kenny Pickett might get picked round one, pick 7 with the Lions, or this guy being a wide receiver being picked second or third. It all just comes down to what actually happens. And maybe I'm wrong. Pickett will probably be the first. Who knows? But I've seen crazier things.
I think if you're talking best players available, um, there are 2 notable teams that I think definitely should consider taking a flyer at a quarterback. And they are the Carolina Panthers and the Seattle Seahawks. Pittsburgh probably could consider one, but I don't think they would want to go as high as who I think they should. I think that Malik Willis will probably be one of the first ones off the board and likely will go to Carolina. That is if Carolina does not make a play for a Baker Mayfield. Darnold has been said to be the starter there in Carolina, but I don't know what kind of sick and twisted joke that's going to be because Darnold is a bunch of dog water.
Yeah, he did not show his. I mean, he had a promising first week, and then after that, it was just downhill from there. Um,
Yeah.
and then like the whole Baker Mayfield situation with the Browns makes it sound like possibly he would start because we don't know if Deshaun Watson's gonna get his have to like sit on the bench for a few games for a suspension or what have you. But
Yeah,
like, man, like I don't know. And then the Seahawks recently signed Geno Smith, according to a tweet I saw. So that would be
yeah,
a veteran presence. That would be like a backup, most likely. They have Andrew Locke or Drew
that is
Locke, yeah.
that is not. Neither of those are a long-term solution.
Right. I'm not saying it is a long-term solution. I'm just saying like they have quarterbacks. It's just not very good ones.
Yeah, think I think the Steelers look at Kenny Pickett. I think the
Yeah,
Steelers give it a look, but it would all depend on what falls to them. But I think Pittsburgh should look at Kenny Pickett.
right. Trevor Lawrence was looked at by the Jaguars last year, and they
Well,
tanked to
well,
try and get him.
well. That was no. Whoever was going to have the number one overall pick was probably going to take Trevor Lawrence, no matter who it was.
Yeah.
There was no quarterback in this year's draft class that kind of sticks out with that. And all five of those quarterbacks have something distinct that makes them good.
Yeah.
Nothing ultimately that one of them has like three or more effective uses of those tools. Like one of them was not the best at like three or four different things. It was
Yeah.
they all had a great individual specialty. But
Um
then you have some teams with very, very interesting situations and draft capital. The Texans huge on draft capital, the Eagles huge on draft capital, the Giants having some draft capital.
the Chiefs.
Washington the Chiefs in a capital situation. Washington and Carolina both in rather interesting situations. I'm going to say this. I would love to start with my Commanders and what what would you think that Washington would look for?
Well, the uh that one's a tough one because I was thinking just now quarterback because you trade for Carson Wentz and you have Taylor Heineke. I think Heineke looked pretty good, but he's definitely not like an A tier Patrick Mahomes quarterback, obviously. But like he's done all he can do with the dumpster fire that is the franchise of the Commanders. They have Scary Terry and a couple other wide receivers out there that have some good talent. They uh, still have Chase Young, which is a good defender. Maybe they upgrade on the defense and some O line help as well.
Well, for what I'm seeing here, according to Yahoo, looks like the three biggest needs are going to be a wide receiver, an inside linebacker, or a safety. I'm going to say that if Kyle Hamilton, who is the safety from Notre Dame, falls to 11, he becomes very, very difficult to pass up. There's depth needed in the interior defensive line and of course on the offensive line as a whole. A corner or a tight end are always a possibility, but a safety opposite Cam Curl could be effective. An inside linebacker to kind of go along with Cole Holcomb and and the failed experiment of being a Mike linebacker in Jamin Davis. A wide receiver that can also add a little bit of impact is also great, especially because this draft is rich in it.
Isn't Mike linebacker supposed to be middle linebacker?
Yes.
Is that just like a nickname for it?
Yeah, that's what they kind of call it. Is that you have Will, Mike, and Sam. Will's the weak side linebacker. Sam's the strong side linebacker,
Oh, okay.
and Mike is the middle linebacker.
Because I never heard Mike linebacker. I was like, are you like did you mean to say something else? But I understand what you're going for now.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like the Texans are probably gonna be looking at maybe getting a better quarterback because currently they just have Tyrod Taylor and he
I
is
think they've also
more.
got they've got Davis Mills as well, who showed that he would be okay enough. But I think that there's going to be a few teams that are going to wait to next year's class, which is a little bit richer in the quarterback department.
Yeah, I feel like mostly these teams are going to be looking at defensive help and some targets for their quarterbacks, like wide receivers and tight ends. The Eagles sound like they need more help on both sides. I don't know if they would go for a quarterback because they have Jalen Hurts, but as people would say on Twitter, he has a noodle arm. But I, I mean, yeah, he isn't like he's not gonna throw it 80 yards down the field to somebody for a touchdown most of the time. He's more of a running quarterback. You got I don't know who else you would have on the Eagles, but I think there needed to probably be quarterback and some wide receiver help and a little bit of cornerback.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to need. I think a lot of teams are going to find a whole bunch of different avenues to kind of go about. And where these quarterbacks will fall, some of them may not even make the first round just simply because of the overcrowdedness of some of the other positions. But are there going to be blockbuster deals for players already on teams? Some guys we
Um,
had would be like Baker Mayfield, DK Metcalf, Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray, Daniil Hunter, and now we add Debo into that mix.
yeah, it all comes down to what you're going to give in return for that player, but also if you have enough uh risk and reward as when it comes to getting a player but also trying to retain them for the future. Like Mayfield is on his contract year. Metcalf for sure is
Contract
gonna
year.
yeah. Then you have Sam Darnold, which is probably a contract year guy, right? Or does he have a 1 year left still?
I think he might be a contract year guy too.
And then Kyler just recently started having drama with the Cardinals where he wanted a new deal. He didn't want to wait. Daniil Hunter uh, was a trade uh, trade buzz guy that could possibly be coming to the Chiefs, but that was just rumors. There's no said news that has came out.
And
And
now
then now Debo. So in my opinion, like I've seen with like Devontae Adams, he got the franchise tag with Green Bay. He didn't want to play under the franchise tag, so he decided to get traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. And then after that, he also got a big pile of cash to go with it. I feel like it comes down to that because if you're like the Chiefs, for example, your cap space is not like up to the roof. Like you gotta figure out how you can squeeze the most out of someone without like burning a hole in your wallet if you're Brett Veach.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
there was talks about DK Metcalf coming to the Chiefs for like the past few weeks, and a lot of people were saying yay or nay on it, but you still got to pay the people at the end of the day. And I don't know it.
Yeah.
I don't think the Chiefs are going to have enough in their cap to do that and also go for Orlando Brown, who was franchise tagged and is looking
Plus,
for a big contract.
plus the wide receiver core, the core in this draft is rich and plentiful and different types of receivers. So really, it is going to be probably in the Chiefs' best interest to not go for a Debo or a DK simply because the receiver cost is going to be cheaper drafting a guy.
Right, because then you have 3 years to play with that guy before
Usually
you.
about four. It's
Oh,
usually about
really?
four. But
To me, it seems like it's 3, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, I agree with that statement. Because you get more, you get like a very new, fresh-blooded human being to join your organization. You get to see how they transfer their college experience to the pros. Most of the ones, most of the players that do have like the high college experience make it, but some will fall.
I think with the arm strength, I think the Chiefs are going to draft another burner wide receiver. Not not necessarily like Cole is right now probably the number one guy for burner, but I think they're going to draft another speedy wide receiver
Yeah, and
with that.
McCole Hardman was originally a replacement for Tyreek Hill back when he had his issues with his like family issues.
Right.
Um, Speaking, do we want to go to our next segment, or are we?
Oh, I think we're kind of set because I think we've got a lot. There's a lot that can happen within these next few weeks. And
So, as as far as the next segment, the NFL. Since we were talking about the NFL
whoa,
draft.
whoa, 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 whoa. We still got some simulation stuff to do.
Oh, we do. Okay, my bad.
We're
My
gonna we're
bad.
gonna hit the we're gonna hit the simulate we're gonna hit the simulation. I mean, that NFL draft stuff, yeah, that's gonna come, but we got the simulation. We've got some we got some MLB the show stuff to kind of talk about here. And this is the perfect time to do it because now that the Astro City Connect jerseys are have been officially announced, MLB the show's brought them in. And we were just kind of just before the pod kind of doing a little bit of working the market, trying to get some collection, trying to do some other things, and and I've and we've been grinding out different moments and such for these new programs.
Like the Astros Space City program is probably one of the most easier moment challenges to do, in my opinion, because you are just trying to get hits, and the players like the Altuve on that squad is amazing to use,
Oh
hands down.
yeah, well of course that Altuve, the ball just bounces right off his bat, especially the one where you have to hit the home run against Araldus. But I mean, basically, what I've been doing has been just completing conquests. My experience grind is already done, so now I'm waiting for the next program. So now it's just parallel grinding. I might start some road to the show down the line. But other than that, it's like I've worked it so much that it's not that I don't have the skill to do it. It's just I now can finally put time into other things.
Yeah, I've been grinding a lot of the mini seasons because I found that there is just a sure buttload of XP you could gain just from doing the seasons and then winning the championship on, and how quick it is to transition from game to game because they're only 3 inning games.
That is
And
if the system ever lets you get there.
yeah, that's for sure too. Because we both had some issues with the network, or I've had a lot of weird freezing that happened when the game first came out. But ever since then, I haven't really had a whole lot to complain
Well, I
about.
haven't dealt with freezing, but I've been dealing with the unhandled server exception that comes with saying, "Hey, yeah, it looks like I've gotten a thank you for the report and they've passed it to the to the team so that they can investigate what the heck is going on with this thing." So, cuz I just submitted a ticket because I went through the entire mini season again, got to the championship, and it did the same thing again.
Yeah, that's really frustrating, especially when you like have spent all that time and effort into it, and then all of a sudden the game is just like, nope.
Yeah, because I'm like right there at the champion. I'm at the championship series, and I'm trying to get this Evan Longoria. Granted that I just picked up the Kevin Euclid, so now maybe my worries on the 89 overall Evan Longoria are a little less, but that still doesn't change the fact that I just want to finish it and get the Longoria and all the experience and the stubs that come with it. Dang it!
I already got the Longoria, so I just really want the XP, and I've been doing a little bit of. I finally got through the West edition of the Conquest. Um, but I found I like the like strategic block stuff that they do with Conquest when it comes to the amount of, because it goes by amount of fans. So if you, let's say you have 3 million fans for your side, and then the other team has 1 million, you could simulate it to where you could take their fan base and then make it yours, so yours is like the more
Yeah,
popular one.
it's like Risk. You're basically playing it like Risk.
And I just love, I've begun to love that mode, but also they kind of pull like something out of Pokemon where whenever you get on a square, you'll magically get like a hidden item. So like you could get like a pack, or you could get some other mystery item, but most of the time
Yeah,
I get those
it's
tops packs.
packs. More often than not, it's packs.
And like the packs in the game currently, I've gotten like random mystery gifts from time to time on that as well. Like I got a chase pack, which is like one of those more special packs from MLB The Show, and I believe I ended up getting a gold player, but you got lucky and got freaking Juan Soto.
I got Juan Soto. Yeah, I got Juan Soto out on one of mine. So, but now that we've kind of completed that, and now we can kind of continue to where you were wanting to go, which was to the war room. This week's war room is going to be an NFL draft knowledge challenge. Now, what Ruckus and I on each side is that we have a set of players, and we have to and basically each of us will have to guess if they were drafted in the first round of the NFL draft. Correct answers are 1 point. Each player will have a flex fact ranging from whether the college attended or the team that drafted that certain player for 1 extra point. So the question is, who wants to go first?
All right, I'll be the guinea pig. All right, so do we have to literally go one by one, like A, B, C, D, or can we just like choose which one we want to give first?
What for the talking
For
the
the
flex fact?
just the players in general.
Players, you can kind of choose it however you see. You can choose it however you see fit, just as long as you go off your list.
All right. First one is a running back, Ladainian Tomlinson.
Yes. Ladainian Tomlinson was a first round pick. And what is my flex fact?
His flex fact is he played for the.
Wait. Oh no, it's like you have to kind of say like which, like say like what was it, like college attend? Am I looking for?
College attended TCU.
Yeah, which one? Yeah, TCU. Yeah, I knew it was TCU. So I'll just take the 2 on that. I knew it was TCU.
I literally, because when you told me the flex fact, I was like, he went to the Chargers.
Oh,
I didn't really understand it, but now I do.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, kind of like, yeah. kind of like, yeah, you're asking an extra question for a bonus point.
Okay.
All right, so my first one to you is Colin Kaepernick.
Michigan.
Oh,
Uh,
no. Oh, no. You're basically deciding whether or not he was a first round pick.
he was not a first round pick.
Yep. And for the flex fact of college attended.
Michigan?
No. He actually was a quarterback from the University of Nevada.
I was thinking you're gonna say Southern California or South Carolina.
No. Nope. The Nevada Wolfpack. All right, so entering round 2, it's 2-1.
Um, let's go with Michael Strahan.
No.
Correct. And what's your flex answer?
No. Well, what's the topic for the flex answer?
Where did he end up, or what college did he go to?
Uh, and this is a HBCU, I know that much. Jackson State,
Uh, Negatory, Texas Southern.
Texas Southern. Yep. All right, so I only got one that round.
So 3-1.
Okay. My second one that I'm going to give you is Brian Fitzpatrick. And for the extra point, we'll get to that whether you get it right.
I have a feeling it was a yes on the round 1.
Nope. He was not a first round pick. Went to, of course, a small school by the name of Harvard and was drafted by the Rams. So no points awarded on that one.
Womp womp. All right. My next one is going to be Tyreek Hill of the Kansas City Chiefs.
No.
Correct. And the his college. Where did he play in college?
SMU.
West Alabama.
Oh, West Alabama. Oh,
He
wow.
was he was
Very small
round
school.
5. He was a round 5 pick, and he was 165th pick. He
Fifth round pick.
had
Yep.
he had a lot of issue or baggage when it came to his draft value.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to give you one here. For round 3 for me, Philip Rivers.
Yes.
Yes, he was a first round pick. All right.
My guess
What college
is
did he attend?
USC.
Nope. He was a member of the NC State Wolfpack, but I will give you a second chance at a bonus point on this. During that draft, what other draft pick quarterback was exchanged for Philip Rivers to go to the team that he eventually spent a long portion of his career with?
Drew Brees.
No. It actually was Eli Manning.
Uh, God dang it.
The 2004 NFL Draft. Picks 1 and 4 were exchanged. Drew Brees was still on the Chargers at the time, but Eli Manning went to the New York Giants. That was how Eli Manning became a New York Giant.
Interesting. All right, my next one, Ray Lewis.
No.
Wrong. He
Ah,
was
ah,
he was a first round pick, and he was pick
ah,
26 from the College
but
of
I knew
Miami.
he went to the U. Yep. All right, so 3-2. 3-2 heading into your round 4. Tio.
Uh, yes. Yes, he
He
was in round 1.
he actually was not.
Damn it.
He was actually not a first round draft pick in 1996. Went to Chattanooga.
All right, my last
All right.
one,
So this is round 5.
Joe Montana.
Not a first round pick.
Correct. All right, where did he go for college?
He was a Golden Domer, Notre Dame.
There you go.
Yep, so that's 5. All right.
5-2.
Yep.
No mentions from me on the sudden death because we did have that just in case.
We'll get to those in a second here.
Okay.
Because who knows, I may have had one here. All right. John Elway.
Yes, he was a first rounder.
And for the bonus point, the team that drafted him.
Denver Broncos.
Nope.
Buffalo Bills.
He was a Colt. He was drafted to the Colts. How he got to Denver was through a trade because John Elway refused to play in Baltimore. That is the second quarterback that I've mentioned of refusing to play at a certain location and getting traded. Phillip Rivers I gave you the quarterback that was collateral damage because of it. Then I have actually given you the quarterback that was that.
All right. So this one, Sam Bradford.
Yes. Yeah, he had gone.
And where did he go to college?
Oklahoma, where he was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, boy.
Yep. A few of mine that I had Rob Gronkowski.
Um, he was not in the first round.
He was not a first round pick, but what was the college that he attended?
Arizona.
He was an Arizona Wildcats. So you would have gotten 2 points off of that one. I also had Torrey Smith.
Not a first rounder.
Was not a first round pick, and the flex fact I had was where did he attend college?
Nevada.
He was a Maryland Terp.
I was like really guessing hard on that one. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Who else did you have on yours?
Troy Polamalu.
Not a first round pick.
Wrong.
Which he actually was, and I knew he went to USC.
And then Blake Bell.
Blake Bell. Who the heck is that guy?
Belldozer. He is a tight end. He played for Oklahoma. He was a quarterback for Oklahoma that converted
Oh,
to a
not a
tight
first.
end.
Oh, I'm not a first round pick.
All
He
right,
was a first round pick.
where did he play?
And it would have been Oklahoma.
No, I meant like NFL. My bad.
Oh, where did he? Oh, team that drafted him. Why am I having my hunch that he was a Chiefs player?
He was uh he was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers.
49ers. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought that too. Whenever I looked him up, I was like, "Ooh, Blake Bell," and I was like, "Ah."
let's see.
Um,
I had Shannon Sharp, or I had Shannon Sharp. I had Alex Smith. I had Benjamin Watson, Dominique Rogers Cromartie, and DeBrickashaw Ferguson as some of my other ones.
I also had Clay Matthews.
Oh, Clay Matthews. I don't. Oh, that would have been a good. That there were a few tough ones that we probably would have either scored one or none at that point.
Yeah, he was a first rounder, and he went to USC.
USC. Yep. All right. So now that we've gone through some previous draft studs and duds, now it's time to actually go through our ones for the week. Ruckus, let's go ahead and start with you.
All right, my weekly stud, but this is probably going to be a weekly stud for a while. Brett Veach, the Chiefs general manager, handling the future of the franchise itself. Personally, I don't know what's going to happen here in the next few weeks, but I trusted Veach as much as Patrick Mahomes trusted Veach. Um, my dud would have to be the way Kyrie handled Boston in the playoffs. Not only are the Nets down 2-0 in the series, but the way I feel like the way you should handle an opposing crowd that you used to play for isn't to flip the bird at the fans. I think it's I think you have to be kind no matter how horribly they treat you. Yes, you don't have to yes, you could still feel angry, but in my opinion, you shouldn't spread the anger back to them. And then while you're also getting paid millions of dollars. So those are my studs and duds. Spennis, what do you have for your studs and duds?
Okay, so my stud for this week is Seiya Suzuki of the Chicago Cubs, having a very nice start to his MLB career with he had a 9-game hitting streak and has been on base in 11 straight games. Has been on with pretty much a impressive set of things that has moved up into the number 2 spot of the Cubs order. The dud that I have is Kyle Higashioka. Nestor Cortez throws an immaculate inning in the Orioles loss to the or in the Orioles beating the Yankees, and the Yankees losing to the Orioles. But Higashioka accidentally gives away the immaculate inning ball into the stands. He accidentally throws the ball away and catches a whole lot of hell for it.
I've seen multiple players do that as well.
Yeah, that is true. But I do have an interesting honorable mention. And it actually had just happened earlier tonight. The communication amongst the government facilities in Washington, D.C. The Capitol building was temporarily evacuated due to a probable threat. It really wasn't a threat at all, other than that the plane holding the U.S. Army Golden Knights that were preparing to parachute into Nationals Park was circling a little too close to the Capitol grounds. And the Capitol Police causing creating the evacuation. The blame, according to Nancy Pelosi, was on the FAA for not informing Capitol Police that there was going to be this aircraft flying over and around the area. Bruh.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
How bad? I mean, our country in certain instances is already a mess.
Yeah, and especially whenever there was that whole like tech thing, like lawsuit with Facebook and whatnot. Whenever you like would watch the footage back of Zuckerberg or the Google CEO trying to answer a question from like a congressman or like someone that was in the house trying to ask some tech questions was just painful to listen to. And knowing that they screwed that up with this honorable mention you were just talking about just like adds to that fact.
Oh my goodness. And I knew that all of a sudden somebody was going to mention Kyrie somewhere in there. So it's like, okay, I got to come up with really, really interesting. And as I always end up managing myself to do, interesting studs and duds for this.
Yeah, that one is just like a random like diamond in the rough. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
And you've seen me find those every now and again with, the Jesse Winker thing and a couple episodes ago, or the Brett Phillips thing last week.
Yeah, and then what was the dud that you had? Was it last week where you were talking about a player was disgruntled?
Oh, the the Alec Baldwin thing was.
Yeah.
Well, the Alec Baldwin thing, yeah, that one was kind of like an out there type of thing. But the Roki Sasaki thing I found, like, I'm always looking for like certain good like studs and duds to find just from like ridiculous happenings.
Yeah.
And I could not pass up that one on the about the Capitol building as soon as I saw it.
Yeah, when you first mentioned that honorable mention to me before the podcast was started, I was like, oh god, where's he going with this? Because when I think communication in DC with the Capitol building, I think of other more horrible things that could have happened. But
Yeah,
that's neither here or there.
right. All right, so Ruckus, go ahead and shut us down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to our weekly podcast, Ruckus and the Menace. My name is Ruckus.
I'm Menace the Menace.
Thank you for listening to our thank you for listening to our sports podcast, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep. Have a good one, y'all.
See ya.